All right, let's talk about the book of Revelation. For so many people, it's one of the most fascinating, but also one of the most misunderstood books in the entire Bible. Today, we're going to change that. We're going to unlock the whole thing, and we're going to do it using just a single verse as our key. Let's jump right in.
You know the feeling, right? You open up Revelation, and it can seem like this confusing puzzle, a bunch of wild visions and prophecies that feel almost impossible to connect. But what if I told you that the book itself hands us the key right at the very beginning to organize everything?
And here it is, Revelation 1:19. I want you to think of this as the master key, the divine blueprint for the whole book. In this one sentence, Jesus himself gives the Apostle John a simple three-part structure to organize everything he's about to see. And once you see it, it brings this incredible clarity to everything that follows.
So let's really break this blueprint down. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a direct command from Jesus. And it lays out a crystal clear timeline, past, present, and future. This is the framework for the entire book.
First up, you've got the command itself, write, or graphe in the original Greek. Now this is way more than just John jotting down some notes for himself. This word means to formally inscribe something, to record it so it can be preserved and shared and communicated to the entire church for all time.
So the first part of what he has to write is the things which thou hast seen, hosa, eides. This points directly to the past, specifically that glorious, jaw-dropping vision of the resurrected Jesus that John just witnessed in chapter 1. This is the foundation for everything. Then, Jesus tells John to write the things which are, or ta anta. This is the present tense. It's all about the current spiritual reality of the 7 churches there in Asia Minor. And really, these churches are a mirror for the state of the church throughout all of history. And finally, the third piece, the things which shall be hereafter, ta malanta. This, of course, is the future. This is the big prophetic section of the book that covers everything from the moment John is called up into heaven in chapter 4, all the way to the final, amazing conclusion of God's plan.
So you see, the key is this incredibly simple 3-part timeline given directly by Jesus. Past, present, and future. Things seen, things that are, and things that will be. Once you have this roadmap, the entire book of Revelation just clicks into place in this clear, divinely inspired order.
Okay, so let's dive into part 1, the past, the things which thou hast seen. This section covers those foundational events that have already happened, the ones that anchor the rest of the entire book.
So what are these things seen from the past? Well, on the most immediate level, it's that absolutely stunning vision of the glorified Jesus in chapter 1. But that vision itself is standing on an even bigger past event, the cross, where our redemption was accomplished. And all of that hinges on the bedrock foundation, Christ's total and complete victory over death.
And you know, this whole idea of victory over death wasn't new when John wrote Revelation. Not at all. It was actually prophesied centuries earlier, like we see right here in Isaiah. This past victory is an established fact, a promise fulfilled.
Okay, so that brings us to the second part of our blueprint. We've set the foundation in the past, and now we shift our focus to the things which are, the present reality.
So what is happening right now according to Revelation? Well, this whole section covers what we call the church age, our current spiritual era. We see it laid out in those messages to the 7 churches in chapters 2 and 3, which are basically a spiritual checkup for the body of Christ. But it's not just a critique. It's also this incredible picture of Christ walking among us, actively involved in sustaining his people right now, in the present.
This verse from Romans just nails the essence of this present reality. Because Christ conquered death in the past, death has no more power over him now. See, that's a present, ongoing truth that empowers the church today.
And now we get to it, the third and final part of our divine blueprint, the things which shall be hereafter. Starting in chapter 4, we launch into the major prophetic section of the book that everyone thinks of when they hear Revelation.
So what shall be in the future? Well, the prophetic vision kicks off in chapter 4 when John is literally taken into heaven. And what unfolds from there is this grand, epic story of the future, the Lamb's final, ultimate victory over all evil. And it all leads to the most glorious conclusion you could ever imagine, a new heaven and a new earth.
And here's the beautiful part. This future hope isn't some distant, impersonal event we just watch from the sidelines. No way. As Colossians reminds us, it's a deeply personal promise. The future glory of Christ is a future that we, as believers, are promised to share in.
That is the ultimate hereafter.
So, after all that, why does understanding this three-part structure actually matter to you and me today? Because it reveals that Jesus is the Lord of all time. He's not just some figure from history, and he's not just a future hope. He is completely sovereign over the past, the present, and the future.
When you put all three pieces together, what you get is the complete picture of salvation. The past, that's our redemption, accomplished on the cross. The present, that's our spiritual union with the living Christ right now. And the future, that's the eternal consummation of that amazing relationship. It's finished, it's ongoing, and it's forever.
And this brings us to the most crucial takeaway. Just like John was commanded to write what he had seen, every single believer is called to be a witness. Our power in this world is our testimony of what Jesus has done. It's about seeing our own lives through this lens, our own past, present, and future with him.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. If we take this same divine blueprint and lay it over our own lives, what does it show? What have you seen Jesus do in your past? How do you know him in your present? And what is your unshakable hope for the future? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.